Every day from 1 year, I'm going to earn at least $200 while doing DoorDash. I'm going to train and diet harder than I ever have before. I'm going to be completely sober from weed, drugs, alcohol, including vaping. And I'm going to release a track one every 2 months. I'm also a traveling nomad that lives out of my car. My name is Victor. This is day number 5 of my life transformation. Today is obviously laundry day. There. I feel like it might be more appropriate to bring out the camera mic for today. So, the part about working on music. What I was doing before was I was attending Icon Collective. For those who don't know, Icon Collective is a music school based out of LA that had in-person and online programs. I obviously did online since I was, living here in Texas and now out on the road. But unfortunately, they filed for bankruptcy not that long ago. So, without any notice at all, literally they sent out an email that went out to everybody at like around 3 o'clock in the morning one day, saying, hey, school is shut down. Like, classes are done. That's it. So as far as me continuing or trying to further my music production skills, trying to learn just general education as far as all of EDM production goes, kind of like came to a screeching halt. Now, even though all that happened, that does not mean that I'm going to stop, trying to learn or just make music in general. It's kind of weird how to explain it, but I feel like it's a little bit of a blessing in disguise because the bit of time and commitment that I had in order to just do general like class assignments and stuff like that, I'm not gonna say it was impossible, but it definitely was a little bit more on the difficult side, and the cost of the school was pretty expensive. Generally, it's $833 a month because I believe it's like a $15,000 program, whatever, and it's an 18-month program. And I think the math came out to $833, but I had gotten this discount that actually made it $666. Yes, it was that amount every month. That's essentially a car payment, just a full-on monthly expense that was making life harder. So I would have to work more, and then working more meant that I had less time for, studying or just working on music in general. So yeah, it just made life difficult. So does it suck that the school canceled out? 100%. But am I glad that I'm saving money? Absolutely. Seriously, that $666 a month was eating me up pretty badly. And I was able to do it. Don't get me wrong. It was just very, I don't know. I was excited to graduate school. One of the reasons being is that I didn't have to pay this thing every month anymore. This also just means now that I have to push myself that much harder because now I definitely do have to, teach myself or just learn, I guess, kind of the old school way, which for most people is YouTube University. There's also big artists that are on Patreon and stuff like that as well. So taking the time to learn is going to be completely on me. As I'm growing and developing and trying to transform and change my life, then yeah, I kind of want that weight on my shoulders. That way I get stronger and better at it. I'm going to show a quick little screenshot of the most well-performing track that I have on my SoundCloud. Boom. Whenever Girls by Don Dollar came out, almost immediately I had an idea in mind and knew how I wanted to remix a song. And I believe it was 2 weeks after that track came out, the original track, I released that bootleg, and that's how it's done pretty much ever since. So yes, it has been a while, but it still performs very, very well, and I think it's averaging at least 2,000 plays a month. Whenever I made that was the height of my excitement. I was fully focused, ready. The flow state and just the creative process was just super, super easy. And then just kind of life stuff kind of started getting in the way again, I guess. But now that I'm focusing back in on myself, that drive I 100% feel is coming back. Some things that I'm doing for myself, that way I know I can keep on progressing on as I'm driving, rather than listening to music or just random little podcasts. I am actually listening to tutorials, which I know may sound weird. It's like how you listen to a tutorial for music production. because there's a lot of visual things you can see as far as plugins and how things look or whatever. This is going to sound a little bit weird, but I am able to learn off of just hearing what they're doing. And I think that's just because I already have a basic understanding and knowledge, like knowing what they're doing on screen. So if they say that they're adding this saturator, if they're adding this plugin and they're turning this knob, in my mind, I visually know what they're doing. So I can listen to it and understand it and have at least a basis of what's happening. And if I need to go back and watch it again, I have them all saved on a playlist. That way I can go over them and, put everything all together. Whenever it comes to sound design, I got a basic understanding of how things are made at Icon. So again, I can listen to these tutorials, know how it's being done, and then whenever I go back and I'm doing the practicing for myself, it's kind of just an easy process. And then I could go in and tweak things to my own liking just from what I've learned from a bunch of other producers. One of the last things that I'm doing, and this is a very important one, this is something that my mentor was really pushing on to me, was to get in the habit and get comfortable with sound design. What I started doing right before Icon ended out was I would open up my laptop, I would get into Serum, which is the synth that makes, wubs or basses, the core, I guess, sound design tool that I use. And I would make one bass or one synth or one wub every single day. At least one. Because I really only have time to make or mess around with music at the end of the day. Like after I'm done door dashing, once I'm parked somewhere, I'll open my laptop and I'll take like at least an hour and a half right before I go to bed just to work on or practice something. What I'm doing now is building up a little library or bank of just sounds or my own basses that I'm making completely by myself. And honestly, over time, they've been slowly getting better, and I could recognize that just because I'm getting more comfortable with it and not second-guessing myself too much. It is a long process, and what I'm trying to do now is at least release a track 1 to every 2 months. There's a project that I'm currently working on right now. I just don't have a good enough demo for me to play for y'all yet, but I'm hoping that'll be sooner rather than later, obviously. And what I'm about to do now is actually go ahead and work on it. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make my one bass for the day. That way, I can still continue on with that development. And then I'm going to work on this track. I'm not really sure which way to go. If it's going to be wubs or rhythm or combination of both. But I'm thinking it's going to be a combination of both. Before I let you go, though, here are some numbers. These are the DoorDash results from yesterday. And I obviously am at the laundromat right now because I need to get my clothes cleaned up. So that means I will be starting DoorDash a little bit late today. Fortunately, since I did do so well last week with those other days, I feel a little bit more comfortable starting later, but I'm still going to aim for the $200 mark. So here are the results for today. Anyways, guys, I appreciate y'all for watching. There's been a lot of people watching me and thinking that I'm really weird for talking into a camera this entire time, so I will let you go for now. Please be sure to subscribe, leave comments, and follow me along for my journey. I appreciate y'all so much. Bye.